It is good to be together.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me here today. As Anita said, my name is Evan Cannon, and my pronouns are he or they. I'm a student at Union Theological Seminary in Manhattan, where I'm studying ministerial leadership and hospital chaplaincy. I've been spending the last year doing lots of pastoral listening, and now I'm trying to do pastoral talking. So we will see how successful I become at that. This morning, our call to worship is by Sherry Woodbury. Whether by habit or out of need, whether in body or through cyberspace, you entered this sanctuary with light shining high inside, open space for hearts and minds. There is no separation either of the sacred and the profane. No setting apart from the natural world, for nothing can be more precious than the ordinary beauty of spring or the stirring of the human spirit. Let us bring, then, our holy hearts and our sacred bits of soil into this place of ritual and song. Let us once more commingle the elements of the heavens and earth in this shrine of inner connection. Come, let us worship together. Now it's time for the chalice laying. Words are in the order of service. The light of our flaming chalice demonstrates our resilience against the forces of darkness. We are paying attention to those who wield their power through corruption versus those who bravely strive for justice. We will stand up for the truth to bring hope and healing to our hurting world. Now it's time for our land acknowledgement. We are here on the ancestral land of America. We are here on Turtle Island to be caretakers, to gather in a good way, to be one with Earth's children in all of their forms. Those of the straight lands, the mountains and valleys, those of the rivers, streams, and oceans, and air under the protection of Father Sky. Let this land acknowledgement guide us in our return to unity. Let us remember that we are relatives to all beings, those who walk on four legs and those who fly close to Creator, those who swim in the ponds and the seas and crawl upon Mother Earth. Let us honor all mammal people, the living green creatures that give us shade and food, the spirit energy in stones, boulders, and earth's crevices, and all of the created world. Let us live in harmony, practice kindness, and share our love for one another. Let love be the foundation of living the values of justice, equity, and interdependence. Our opening song will be hymn number 131 in the Woodbury and all. I'll go back up.
You want to stand up? Stand up. I'll play a little bit while you find it.
Love will guide us, promises drive.
Here are a few announcements. Please join us following the service for Sweet Tooth, where we have our conversations and fellowship and sharing of food that follows the Sunday service. And if you would like to help with the future Sweet Tooth, there is a sign-up sheet in the kitchen where you can speak with me. The UUCCN Book Club will meet next on March 26th at 8 p.m. on Zoom. The book is 1929, Inside the Greatest Crash in Wall Street History and How It Shattered a Nation by Andrew Ross Sorkin. Check the weekly update for the Zoom link. Please mark your calendars for Sunday, April 19th, as our very own Michael Sanzanita will headline a concert benefiting Doctors Without Borders. And get this, it's not just great music and a great cause, you will also get a wonderful dinner for $40. So it's dinner and chill for $40.
Me in 3 much better positions than I am.
I don't think so.
You don't know.
So please come on Sunday, April 19th at 4 p.m.
Bring your friend.
And bring your friends.
Bring your friends. If you don't have any friends, bring your enemies.
Right.
And after spending that time here, they will become your friends.
Right.
So I'll add to this. Terry asked me today, what if she's paying by check? If you're paying by check, write the check out to Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
It's going to be a simpler way to
Yeah.
process everything.
Yeah.
And I'll make a link that if you want to do it by credit card, we'll send that out as we get closer.
All right, thank you, John.
Thank you, John. And if you can help with part of the dinner or with cleanup, you can speak to me, because we do everything here ourselves, with love. Applications are now being accepted for LIAC Student Internship Program. The Student Activity Fund, SAF, makes it possible for Long Island UU youth and young adults to live their faith and learn valuable skills by interning at nonprofits that focus on social action, advocacy, or social services. For more info, visit the LIAC website or speak with UUCCN members Robin Rivera and Chrissy Rollicki. One thing that makes UUCCN special is the volunteering of our members, helping with Sunday service, religious education, office work, cleanup, sweet tooth, and other tasks. It's a way to give back to the community and to build relationships and to find purpose. If you would like to help, please speak with me or another board member. And that's it for announcements.
Now it is time for our affirmation found in your order of service. Love is at the heart of our values.
We promise to live our values
every
day.
With love at the center of all things.
Equity is the value of our inclusive community.
We believe in the inherent worthiness of all.
Interdependence teaches us we are all connected.
We will only be made whole when we live as co-inhabitants of the world.
Justice is essential for peace and building a beloved community.
We will work to dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions.
Generosity expresses compassion, gratitude, and hope.
We will offer our faith, ourselves, and our resources.
Pluralism encourages respect for diverse beliefs.
And allows us to be curious as we learn from one another.
Transformation allows us to adapt to an ever-changing world.
We are evolving and growing, and we are never perfect. And now it is time for the offering and thanksgiving. Thank you for your support of UUCCN. Your pledges, donations, and volunteering sustain our congregation as we are 100% dependent upon ourselves, our members, our friends, and our guests. Please give the day when the ushers pass the collection plate in a minute, or you can use your credit card on our website, uuccn.org. One of our traditions is to share our Sunday collection plate with another organization whose work aligns with our values and principles. For the month of March, we support the Detention Watch Network. The Detention Watch Network is a national membership organization that brings together advocates from diverse backgrounds to unify strategy, build partnerships, and strengthen the movement to end immigration detention. Please give generously to help in this critical mission. Please help with this important work by giving today. And if you're sending in a check, please write "Share the Pledge March" on the memo line. Thank you again for all you do to support our congregation. We are truly grateful and truly blessed by the generosity of our community.
And now for a meditation with Native American elders. If we have bad thoughts or poison in our minds, they will eventually show up in our bodies in the form of headaches, pains, and stomach problems. It works this way because we are interconnected. Our minds and our bodies are one system. So when we start purifying our minds by prayer and meditation, when we start cleansing our bodies by getting the right amount of sleep and developing good eating habits. Today, I am going to observe my thoughts. Will my thoughts be clean today? Now is our time for joys and concerns. I believe in this congregation you may see as our own wall.
Well, this evening, I had a very joyful family reunion. My mom's 99th birthday. And we had everybody come out, and we had a nice big crowd. And she was cognizant that something was up, even though she has advanced dementia. She still was moved. She still got a little teary-eyed. She did try to go. We said to her mom, "Go out and get candles," and she goes. She said, "No, no, no." So it was sweet and joyful that we still have her with us. She's 99 years old on March 2nd when we celebrated this past week. Can I trip? We're going to Norway tomorrow. So, yes.
And you want to come back?
loose.
That's still there.
So I'm glad, I'm joyful he's back home.
Thank you to everyone who shared their joys and sorrows this morning. And we hold in our hearts all of the joys and sorrows in this room today that couldn't be spoken. Now it is time for our UUCCN away. As a nation, we have often prayed for peace, but we're continuing to wait for us. We love to stand for peace, but there can be no peace as long as we are compromised by greed and power. Peace must be more than a sentiment that we long for. Peace must exist with justice as its foundation.
So you can take this however you want. You can take this meteorologically if you want. You can take this personally, spiritually. You could even, based on recent poll numbers and primary results and turnouts at demonstrations, you could even take this politically. And it's not like this. Hey, if you're a baseball fan, I'm not, you can take that. You. Dogs. Colts. Flowers years. Feel like it's sweet. Here comes sun. Here comes smiles and turn to their face. Don't feel like it's years.
Thank you all for having me here today. It is such a beautiful day to get to come journey and join you all here. And my first visit to this community, I walked around and saw all of the beautiful art and science. Here, I need to preach to the wonderful. And I hope that there is still something spiritually rich for you to find today. It has been a long, long winter as we have been pressed through snow, freezing rain, one day. But day by day, we are beginning to climb hibernation. And despite the challenges of this winter, we all know, in the sacred time we have together, we worship and tend to remember. In the past year, worship has been turned on its head for many of us. And our daily lives have been taken up more than they already are by trying to make sense of the violence and the abuse of power that we're seeing before our very eyes. In these times, it is just important to create spiritually renewing sanctuaries for ourselves. It is keep fighting on the front lines of justice. In my discernment, in the last year at Union on my own sense of spiritual care. I came across an article by Kenneth Hartman, the emeritus professor of psychology at Michigan State University. The article is titled Partisan Religious Group in Spiritually Integrated Psychology, which is a lot of academic term, but in his brief article, exploring how practitioners and psychological care workers can incorporate religion into their practice and previously considered taboo. Hartman explores how we harvest the fruits of other religious traditions and add them as vital ingredients into the recipes of our clinical work. In doing this, Hartman explores his own relationship to Judaism through looking at Christianity and the Christian idea of sanctification. He also looks at the Jewish identity and community's perspective on conflict and on resolution, and how instead of absolute blanket forgiveness, his communities are prone to trying to argue and resolve the conflict, and what that tells him about state. Here, where he studies sanctification, he's referring the act of witnessing ordinary elements of everyday life as reflective, divine, spiritual, or the theologically important. I felt moved to share Hartman's work today because in this briefly intense time, it has been so easy to let our spiritual nurturing and spiritual care fall to the wayside, and I know that I have myself many times. And as we know the importance of seeking wisdom in our traditions and our pluralist values. We also know the value of our worship here together, and how it can not only settle our spirits, but fortify them as we face the difficulties of the world. As we attempt to study and learn from other traditions of our times, it can be a struggle to go beyond observing these religious trees and the fruits that they bear, and into harvesting them and preparing them, feasting upon them. In fact, as we often feel allowed to see the beauty of our tradition, but we don't want to take anything with us. And this tension is not unfounded. We use many conversations about preparation versus appreciation, about taking versus sharing in something. To pardon it, though, to pick the fruit of another religious tree is not a form of taking, but sharing. Many trees are plentiful and allow us to share and be directly often. To pick fruit is not to be one with the tree. But not every tree is allowed to grow, and not all fruit is plentiful. So perhaps then to pick the fruit is not the only way that we can engage with our pluralist values, our faith. But to take it with us, or to study from afar, or to tend to its surroundings so that it might thrive. All of these ways we can engage in our sacred garden. Imagine, if you will, what it would mean not just to harvest fruits of religion, but to tend to the orchard where they grow in our everyday lives, building a space so spiritually rich for all of us to share in. What are the building blocks? And what do you need to tend to in your personal spiritual garden? Are there fruits that are ready to be harvested, or standings to be cultivated, or the branches that need to be pruned? Hartman started his own tending by taking through sanctification, and he shares it's not difficult for him to do this because it's not so different from his own tradition. In fact, though sanctification is a Christian term, it is not a Christian concept. The idea that there is something powerful and connecting and engaging to the awareness of our faith is not new and it's not singular. There's something powerful in engaging in awareness of where we are and enjoying our moments are very important. So it's even more important not to see our spirituality only in nature and revelatory, but also in the smallest, most ordinary ones. So if we wish to put the fruit of sanctification into something delicious, there are many ways we can do so. The days my mother has shown me how to braid tomato bread for Earnable and place our minds on the secret act of creating something for our ancestors, family, and our friends. This was the sanctification of our principles through food. And then we stop and observe the spider web resting in the corner of our room. And we don't just let it pass by, but think of ours as a principle, the respect for the independent web of all existence. This too is sanctification, and being present in this moment with something bigger than ourselves. We can look to many multiple trees outside of unitary universalism. The tree of Islam, where we might pick the fruit of daily worship as one of the most practiced law. We might dine in Quakers and discern the importance of personal conversations of the spirit of life, love, God, our conscience. And this gardening is not new to youth, and Iraq and Emerson was influenced by German romanticism and Hinduism, which is developing its own relationship to spiritual worship. I draw on sanctification in my life by creating awareness of the presence of the spirit of love. We often speak of the spirit of love as largely metaphorical, and that is totally fine. And for me, it is a very present, constant, and real thing. I embody and feel in my life. And I take time to feel and appreciate it around me. Learning from living in Muslim communities and being invited to practice and good business law, I incorporate more daily forms of worship into my life, even if I just take time to deviate from my childhood necklace. From Judaism, my studies of Hebrew Bible, I incorporated my learning textual studying in English. The work of taking pride in exploring conflicts and tensions of our own religion, and it is not oppositional to being a person. When I was a child studying politics, obstetrician, and legislation, we built bridges. I started by questioning why do you have so few holidays that are distinctly, specifically you? I asked them, celebrate all these things, and they would tell me, well, we do. We celebrate all the holidays that everyone in this community wants to bring together. I was not satisfied. I wanted something else. So I decided that I would just set a UU holiday. Straightforwardly, easy, can't be that complicated. In fact, to me, it just seemed simple. I had a conversation recently with Bellis and Mary about tradition. I said, I think UUs should start more traditions, and he said, how does tradition start? And I said, well, I think it's by starting and then continuing. He did not like that. And he said that a real tradition is started by revelation. There is no fault in a tradition being based on revelation. But there is also no fault in basing them off of a mutual desire, or my 9-year-old singular desire, to create something for ourselves. So blessedly, my small congregation in Utica, New York, fully encouraged me to do this. They offered me a Sunday to celebrate at church, and all of the children and youth joined in without me really having to ask, and shared what they saw as worthy of celebrating as inherently or specifically Unitarian Universalist. We named the day Unitarian Universalist United. We made t-shirts. It was a day where we celebrated UUs across the web of existence, where we honored our principles. My grandfather, a craftsman, and a religious nun who never in his entire life spoke to me about faith or religion or prayer, made me a custom candle and chalice holder representing each principle with its own sacred flame, just for this holiday. And we celebrated together. We made food based on the colors of our principles, albeit weirdly dry and of a mysterious flavor. We had services led by the children, youth, and adults together, and we discussed with each other the meanings of our principles outside of our church, outside of this space and in our daily lives. And we thought about UUs far and wide. I think the children thought if there are UUs on the moon, and the adults meant Texas, but it still stands. And this event pulled bushels of fruit from Unitarian Universalist tree, but so too were bushels of fruit brought by each member of the community. From their faith background, from their current faith exploration, it was the stone soup of pluralistic spiritual nourishment. If we tend to our own orchards and gardens, it benefits us, and it also benefits our beloved community. But so too is true that in every orchard and garden, there comes the risk of blight, of weeds and invasive species wrapping themselves around our trees and suffocating their growth. We are not all equally welcome to tend to our own gardens. Some of us are not given the tools necessary to do so and are left scraping away with our bare hands. And some of us struggle to even find the time in our lives to look inward, let alone to look outward for sources to draw from. For all that are welcome, for all the fruits we pick and enjoy and incorporate, there too will be that which we must remove. We cannot be spiritually fed by everything equally. We will find some methods of spiritual engagement oppressive and disconnecting or in tension with us personally. We do not need to pick from every single tree. Where we cannot always plant new trees, it is still possible to prune away that which is causing us spiritual harm, spiritual disservice. And guilt does not need to grow in our spiritual garden. Restriction is not a requirement for being a person of faith. However we choose to tend to our gardens, or whether we choose not to at all, we are engaging in change. As Octavia Butler said in her novel Parable of the Sower regarding the religion earth seed, all that you touch, you change.
All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. May we all seek to mold our spiritual lives in the search for truth and meaning.
So you're beginning to move between benedictions. Our benediction today is by Emily Richards. May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are now. May you share
The feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together to become our better selves. Blessed.
The chalice, well, we could sing before you extinguish your chalice. So that's okay. It's kind of backwards in there. It's not usually in this order. So you're cool. So listen, I made a mistake. I put the number in forget the number. You do not need these hymnals. So if you're going to stand up. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you know, I've got a master's in vocal pedagogy. And I'm going to tell you that you will have more fun singing if you're just looking straight out and your head is straight than if your neck is bent and you're looking down at your hymnal. Am I right, Vicki? Right? Yep. So if you're going to stand up. If you're going to sit down. Listen, and here's the words. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Because I don't for I don't want to run this race in vain. And then there's more. Guide my feet, hold my hands, but it's all the same, right? And I'll tell you what it is. And as long as you're not holding the hymnals, no, I mean to put it down. Do yourself a favor. As long as you're not holding the hymnals. Guide my feet, guide
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I can't enjoy the coming springtime skies when I'm gone. And I can't comfort anyone who cries when I'm gone. And I can't be singing louder than lies when I'm gone.
Thank you so much. Right, good job.